Hi, I'm John Piper, independent candidate for the United States Senate from the state of Indiana. Today I just want to shoot a quick little video and talk about what's happened over the last 48 hours in Washington. Some of the things that I've talked about have actually started to come true. We're going to show and provide a lot of evidence for that today. But first I want to say thank you to Rush Limbaugh. Limbaugh was 100% correct. Donald Trump, if he is removed from office, these are Rush Limbaugh's words, if Donald Trump's removed from office, the swamp's going to immediately be refilled and the status quo will be returned. Why? Because Mike Pence will become president of the United States. That's why we're not hearing any bad press about Mike Pence. We're not hearing anything negative about him whatsoever. The question is, did he write this letter? I don't believe Mike Pence wrote this letter that was sent to the New York Times. I think his staff wrote it with Mike Pence's help. Let's remember, there are several people that want Donald Trump removed. One of them is Jeff Sessions. Jeff Sessions is not an honorable man. Jeff Sessions gave his word to the president he would uphold the laws of the United States. Jeff Sessions did not do that. He lied. He lied to the American people when he raised his hand and he said that he would uphold the laws of America and do his best. He lied. He knew immediately that he wasn't going to be part of this Russian investigation. He should have never raised his hand. He should have never taken the oath. He should have never done anything. Mike Pence went out yesterday knowing that Donald Trump despises Jeff Sessions because Jeff Sessions lied to him and the nation, and this is what your Vice President Mike Pence said. I hold Jeff Sessions in the highest regard. I appreciate his service to his nation. Jeff Sessions betrayed his nation. And Mike Pence right there stabbed Donald Trump in the back. You should now all accept who Mike Pence really is. He wants to be president more than anything. Let's remember why Mike Pence is Vice President of the United States. Because the deal was cut between Paul Ryan and Donald Trump. Paul Ryan was a never-Trumper, swore he'd never vote for Trump, and then all of a sudden Trump said, give me one of your people, I'll make him vice president if you get on the Trump train. Paul Ryan agreed. Then what? He lied. He stabbed Trump in the back. We still don't have a wall. We still have people not wanting to follow the President of the United States plan. Look how successful he's been without Paul Ryan's help. Can you imagine if we get somebody good in there? Things are going to change. We also have to talk about Jeff Sessions' unwillingness to investigate Mike Pence. We have all this evidence that Pence was involved with the FBI in Indiana in human trafficking. Jeff Sessions won't touch it. I have now sent 2 certified letters to Jeff Sessions asking for an investigation. The one on human trafficking and then the one about a threat on my life. As you all know, I've had 2 death threats in my life, but on July 25th, I had an individual come onto my front lawn with his SUV where my wife and I are building our home, and he tried to run me over, either to intimidate me or to kill me. The police were there within minutes. This individual tried to get a logging company to come on, take down all the woods on my 9-acre property, destroy my building site. They were caught in the act because I returned home 2 days from vacation, 2 days early. This man fled when he knew the police were on the way. The police showed up, took a report. We demanded they be arrested, and Morgan County Sheriff said, Mr. Piper, there's no room in the jails. We're not allowed to arrest anybody. Yet they found the logging company there. They found the old man there who threatened to kill me with his car. They had all the evidence, they saw all the equipment, and they still refused to do it. They said it'd be up to the prosecutor. The prosecutor, who's a good friend of Mike Pence and a good friend of Eric Holcomb, refused to do his duty. That was July 25th. We have now sent letters to Jeff Sessions, to our Attorney General in Indiana, to the state police, to the prosecutor himself, all friends of Mike Pence. If you're a friend of Mike Pence, you don't have to abide by the law. This is outrageous. We can't have this in Indiana anymore. We have to have law and order. Eric Holcomb, you have to order that prosecutor. Curtis Hill, you have to order that prosecutor. It doesn't matter who's friends with who. We saw what happened to Rand Paul. He was attacked on his own front lawn, mowing his grass. Guy broke his ribs, punctured his lung, 14 days in the hospital. Rand Paul almost died. Gabby Gifford was shot. She was a congresswoman from Arizona. 6 people were murdered, including a 7-year-old little girl and a United States federal judge. 18 people in all were shot. And let us not forget Steve Scalise. Steve Scalise was with a bunch of Republicans practicing for a charity baseball game. One of Bernie Sanders' psychos showed up with a rifle and tried to kill all of them. And Steve Scalise has had 17 surgeries because of it. We can't have people threatening to kill candidates for office or people that are in office. This has to stop. Again, we need help. We need Jeff Sessions to do his job. You want to prove you're an honorable man? Let's get on the ball, Jeff Sessions. Don't protect Mike Pence anymore. Human trafficking has to stop. The drugs have to stop. The kids being sent to child prostitution has to stop. And the death threats and the attempts on my life have to stop. People have to be prosecuted. Let's talk about Mike Pence and this letter that was sent from the New York Times. Again, I don't believe Pence wrote it. I think his staff wrote it. Kellyanne Conway, one of Trump's top people, she's in love with Mike Pence, worked for Pence for years, came out and said something very interesting the other day. She said the leakers in the White House never get bad press. She said that on September 5th on Laura Ingraham's show. She's 100% right. They never get bad press. Have you ever heard a bad thing about Mike Pence in the press? Nope, you don't. Let's talk about the plan. You have James Comey, you have Rob Rosenstein, you have Andrew McCabe, Peter Strzok, you have Bruce Orr, you have all these people part of this conspiracy. What was the conspiracy? To get rid of Donald Trump. What happens if you get rid of Donald Trump? You have Mike Pence as president. So there's a two-part plan. Nobody's talking about the second part of the plan. And you know why? Because of redacted documents. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. This is a redacted document. Mike Pence's name is nowhere to be found. This is what Congress got. The Justice Department and the FBI would send over certain documents for their investigation. This is what they get. Have you ever heard of Mike Pence's name in any of these documents, any of these texts, or any of these emails from Andrew McCabe, Peter Strzok, any of these people? No. Everybody wants Pence to stay pure. Nobody's willing to investigate him. We can't have that. What we need is to find out what part two of their plan was. Part one, of course, is to remove Donald Trump as President of the United States. Part two was to put Mike Pence in. Why? Because Mike Pence was a congressman for 12 years. Mike Pence worked in the Congress and was best friends with who? Paul Ryan. They want Mike Pence to be president. They want Paul Ryan to be vice president because they know Rush Limbaugh is correct. The swamp will be reestablished and the swamp will be refilled. Make no mistake, this is all part of the giant conspiracy. Donald Trump, you need to declassify all these things, get rid of all the redactions, and let's see where Mike Pence's name shows up. Because you know, all these people that work for the DOJ and the FBI are the smartest people in America. You don't rise to the top of the Department of Justice or the FBI without being really smart. And the first part of your plan was get rid of Trump. You had to have part B, plan two, and that was to what? Put Mike Pence in as vice president, or president of the United States. Let's change subjects for just a second before I finish here. In our previous video, we talked about I-69, the big highway that Pence wants to have torn out and a new highway put in. That means we're going to get rid of a big hospital that's supposed to be built. We're getting rid of fire stations. We're not going to have any security for our children in our 2 mega churches, 2 mega schools, 2 mega churches. Well, just in the last 2 days, we have had the White River Fire Township in Johnson County decide to put up a giant sign on the front lawn of one of those schools that I spoke about, and they're going to build a new fire station right there. It wasn't because of me. I just brought it to your attention. But you, the people, made the decision to contact White River, to contact the state, to contact the governor, and said we can't have 2 churches, we can't have 2 mega schools with no way to get to them in case there's a fire, there's an earthquake, there's any kind of a school shooting, tornadoes. You made the right decision. They're changing their mind. They're putting the brand new fire station right there on the front lawn of the school. It's not my doing, it's your doing. We, the people, stood up, encourage the right people to make the decision. So I want to pat anybody in Johnson County, the White River Fire Township, whoever made the final decision, it was the right decision. And I know in the long run, it will save lives. So thank you for watching my videos. Thank you for being in touch with what's going on in our community. God bless Indiana and God bless America.